Hi guys, this is Mohammad P, a tutor on Chegg.com. So today we are talking about an equation of an ellipse. So as you see here in the picture, so we have two kinds of ellipses. So the one is horizontal and the other one is vertical. So they have different orientations. The difference in the equations is going to be about the denominators of x squared and y squared. As you see here, the a is always bigger than b, so that's actually by the agreement that they have. So if the denominator of the x squared includes the greater number, which is a squared, then that's going to be a horizontal ellipse. And if the denominator of the y squared includes a greater number, that's going to be a vertical ellipse. So this is basically a standard form of the ellipse centered at origin. If I want to actually have it in a different position with a different center, I would have the equation like this: x minus x naught squared a squared plus y minus y0 squared over b squared equal 1. That's for the horizontal ellipse, and similarly you can write the same thing for the vertical one, which is x minus x0 squared b squared plus y minus y0 squared a squared equal to 1. So that's basically horizontal ellipse, and this is basically vertical ellipse. So the center for these ellipses is going to be centered at x0 and y0. So it's not going to be like at origin anymore. It's going to be moved to x0 and y0. Okay, so in ellipses, we have a major axis and minor axis. So the major one is the one which is actually longer. And as you see, it has a length of 2a because from 0 to a, that's 1a, and then from negative a to 0, that's another a, so it becomes 2a. Same thing is true for the vertical. We have from 0 to a, 1a, and then negative a to 0, that's going to be 2a as the length of the major axis. So as you see, major axis has a length of 2a, doesn't matter it's horizontal or vertical. So the minor axis has length of 2b because from 0 to the b here, 1b, and then from negative b to 0 is going to be another b, so it becomes 2b. That's the same thing for the vertical one. So just the minor axis is the shorter one and the major axis is going to be the longer one. And then we have 2 points that they are called foci. So the foci are the points that are located on the major axis. As you see, major axis on the horizontal one, and then the major axis on the vertical one. So there is a relationship between A and B and the position of the foci, which is determined by the number c, and that relationship is c squared equal a squared minus b squared. Doesn't matter it's a horizontal or vertical. So in this case, if we have a and b that we are usually given either by the equation or like extra information that the problem gives us, we can determine the value of the c, and based on that we can locate the foci points that they are on the major axis. So the key things that you have to know, the first one was if the denominator of x squared is greater, you have like a horizontal ellipse, and if the denominator of the y squared is bigger, you have a vertical ellipse. And also you need to know the relationship between c squared, a squared, and b squared, which is this equation here, and you need to be able identifying the major and the minor axis. Okay, so this is all information about the ellipse. That's enough to know. So let's just start do a problem, and then we are going to see what's going to happen here. So I'm going to go to the next page. Let's start and graph an ellipse with the equation x squared over 9 plus y squared over 4 equal to 1. Okay. As I mentioned, because the denominator of x squared is larger, that means it's a horizontal ellipse. So I'm going to draw my x and y coordinate system. So like this. Since the x and y are not subtracted from anything else, they are just squared by itself. It's going to be centered at the origin. So I'm going to have an ellipse, a horizontal ellipse centered at the origin. And this is going to be my a squared, and this is going to be my b squared. So a squared equal to 9 gives me a equal to 3. And b squared equal 4, it gives me b equal to 2. So it means that I need to go 3 units to the right and left to get the major axis. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So here is 3. This is negative 3. And I have to go 2 up and down on the vertical axis to get the minor axis. So 2 up and then 2 down. So here is 2, here is negative 2. And then I can just connect these points together and I would get my ellipse. Now let's find the position of foci. So we know that c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. So c squared is equal 9 minus 4, which is going to be 5. So c is going to be root 5. As I mentioned, the foci are located on the major axis. So the major axis is the horizontal one here. So there are going to be, the root 5 is something about 2 point something. So they are going to be around here and here. So I'm going to write the position of the first foci, which is the x is root 5 and the y is 0. And the other one is negative root 5 and 0. Okay, so that's basically it about drawing and understanding an ellipse. So you can try reversing the numbers. For example, you can say x squared over 4 plus y squared over 9 equal 1. You can try this on your own and see that you would get the same thing but rotated, and you would get like a vertical ellipse. The foci are also going to be on a vertical axis because that's going to be a vertical ellipse. So I hope that you all enjoyed this and you learned enough. Please wait for the future videos, and I'm gonna be back for sure. I wish you the best and have a wonderful day. Bye.